everyone. Welcome to this third module of the clinical selection of dental biomaterials. So today we're going to explore a little bit of the emerging technologies that you have in the industry. So it probably is one of the most advanced topics that you're going to see in the school. Probably one of the last lectures that you're going to have officially with us. But today we're going to talk about 3D printed materials, okay? So it's very important to understand that these technologies in 3D printing, they are invading our practice every day. And it's important that we know how to manage those files and these materials digitally as well, because the properties of the materials, they will be slightly different, but they will maintain most of the characteristics of traditional materials. So for example, today we're going to talk about 3D printed materials and especially talking about models, okay? You are used to making impressions with the different types of elastomeric materials that I taught you, also pouring the cast with stone, but you're going to see that more often you're going to be using the intraoral scanner. And people might think that using the intraoral scanner is just mainly scanning and sending to the printing machine and then everything is solved. No, that's not the process, okay? So today you're going to learn the basics that I believe any dentists on graduating now and advanced on these parts should have this knowledge about 3D printing. So for today, I prepare exercise that is very practical, and you're gonna learn some of the basics of managing those digital files and preparing those for printing. So as you see here in our canvas, you're gonna see that we have two files, a maxilla and a mandible. This one I just made a typo here, but I will fix and probably you're gonna see the correct one. And then from that, you're gonna download these two files. So probably you saw on the communication via Canvas that you have to download a software that is called Mesh Mixer. So if you have not done that yet, go to the website, Google, and then search for Mesh Mixer, and that's the first one that you're gonna see opening, okay? So you can download the full version here they have for Mac and Windows. So that's a very common one, all right? So having these two files, what you're gonna do is I'm gonna demonstrate here how you're gonna process to create the files and explain as we go on this. And then after that, you're gonna have to upload those files on our assignment page, okay? So on the assignment page, you're gonna find the module 3, and then probably you're gonna see something like this, where you're gonna be able to download upload the two files over here. All right, so let's dive into it. So after you download the files and you have the Mesh Mixer installed on your computer, you can open directly the file, or you can go ahead and open the software and import the file. So I'm gonna double click here on the file. This is gonna import my model, okay? You can do both models at the same time. I normally do one at a time, unless I'm doing some virtual articulator or something like that. Okay, so now that we imported the file, you're gonna see that we have the intraoral scan here. So as you can notice, the intraoral scan just provides you a shell of the surface of the design that you're trying to use. What happens is if you try to just send this to the printer and try to print the model, what's gonna happen is it's gonna completely collapse and that the material will not print. So what you need to do is you need to, first of all, close this model and create some thickness here to make sure that everything is gonna print well. Second thing is there are a lot of areas here that we can trim that we don't need it, all right? So let's start it. First of all, you're gonna click the select tool. And with the select tool, the first thing that you're gonna do is you're going to use the lasso tool to cut the parts that you don't want. To do this, you click with the left button on the area outside of the model, and then you just start to cut the areas that you don't want, okay? So you just circle all that, it will become orange, and then you just cut. Same thing here. I don't want this part over here in the back, so I can just go ahead and cut it. There we go. I don't need this part on the palette side, so I can just cut this part here. So every model, depending on the design and of course, what you're looking for, you need to change. So for example, here I jagged a little bit. I would just clear the selection, click select and start again, okay? Also, if you make a mistake, there is no problem. You can, like any computer, just click Control Z or go to actions on the top left of the screen, and then you can just undo that part. If you are on Mac, it's going to be Command Z, but it's basically the same thing. So here I'm just trimming the model with areas that I don't think I will need it. So I can just go back. I think I cut it too short here. So I'll just go back and cut this part right now. So this part here is important because you don't want to have a model that is too big, because you're going to, of course, use more resin, but also you want a model that it's you're going to be able to mount and do all this stuff. So I just need to cut this part here to look a little bit better. So this is going to be good. There we go. So now it's good. So now that you have this part here cut it, you're going to see that it's a little bit jagged. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to go ahead, first reduce the size of the brush, and then we're going to go to the blue boundary here and double click. When you double click on the boundary, it's going to select the entire boundary. So we need to, first of all, go ahead and edit this boundary by modifying it and clicking optimize boundary. First of all, this will make sure that you have a more well-selected boundary. After that, you need to smooth, because if you have any jagged area, what happens is when you try to print these problems or these sharp corners can cause problems during the printing and fracture. So then it will collapse the entire model. So now when I click smooth, it will smooth all the lines. I just need to click accept, and now all the lines are all good. So after that, I need to create the base of the model. How do I do that? I go with this still selected, I go to edit and I click extrude, okay? With the extrude button, what I need to do first is set the offset to flat, okay? And the direction I set to y-axis. So when I set to y-axis, it's gonna go vertical to the model. And now I can move this up, increasing the thickness, almost forming a base. You can see here. So everything is now forming a base. Now that I have a height that I judge that is enough, at least like 10 millimeters, it's normally enough, I can click accept. So once I click accept, you're gonna see that we formed this base here. Now we need to make sure that this part here is gonna have some thickness. To do this, I need to go to the edit mode, and then I click make a solid. Okay, when I click make a solid, you will start to fill all these areas and make a solid model. So you just click and wait a little bit, and then your computer will process it. All right, just pay attention that sometimes your models, they will come like this with no precision. So what I suggest is make sure to increase the solid accuracy and the cell size a little bit on the mesh density to be at least 0.1, okay? This is normally the precision of the printer. So here you're gonna see that we're gonna put 0.1. And then you click update. All right, once you click update, it's gonna you're gonna stay with the same one, and then you can, I mean the same resolution, just click accept. All right, now that you accept it, you're gonna see that you have two models right now. One that is the regular model and the other one that is solid, okay? What we can do is you can either delete this one or you just hide it, okay? Normally I delete because I'm not gonna use that anymore. So now with the solid model, we can print this model. That's no problem at all. We have a base here and all of that. What is the problem with it? In stone, we cannot make the model hollow, okay? So that means that with 3D printing like this will take longer because you're gonna have to use more resin to do it. So there is a technique where we can make this part hollow inside, but it's still with a thickness where this is gonna increase the speed of printing and use less resin. So how do we do that? In the same menu here, edit, we're gonna click hollow, okay, option. So this hollow option, what it's gonna do is it's gonna set a thickness for the wall. Normally 2 millimeters is enough. So once you do that, can you see that it's trying to preserve the outer shape of the model, but maintaining the size of it. So you see it's trying to mimic here the tooth shape to always have at least 2 millimeters. So after you do this, you can click, is normally the offset of 2 millimeters is the standard. So you don't need to change unless you're defaulting to a different one. So after that, you click update holo. So this is going to create the holo part. Once you have this, you can click accept. So after you click accept, you're gonna notice that, wow, it's looking the same, but matter of fact, it's not. So now the model is hollow inside, but still I can cut this cap here, because if I leave this cap on, this base on, what's gonna happen is, because the 3D printing works with liquid that is gonna be 3D printed and getting solid in layers, we might got liquid entrapped inside, and this is gonna be very, very nasty, because it's the liquid, the resin, uncured resin, is gonna start to spill from it, so it's not a good thing. So now what we're gonna do is do a plane cut. So the plane cut here, when you click, is gonna try to divide this in half. So make sure that you want to keep the part of interest, that is a part on the teeth area. So make sure to click, and this is gonna change the orientation. And now you can move this up, and then now you can see that I can cut this top layer here, just to make sure that everything is in the right position. So I can look on top here. So I think I went too fast. Let me just do it again for you. So plane cut, change it, and now I just drag the blue arrow a little bit up so I can cut in a decent size. All right, so now it's all good. Can you see that now we have this part here with no resin, but everything is moved inside? I just click accept. And now my model is all ready to print, okay? So with this model, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to File, you're gonna click Export the Model, and then here, wherever you have in your folder, you're gonna save with your UFID. So you're just gonna put your UFID number and save it, okay? You can put the UFID number and Max as Maxilla, and you're gonna do the same thing for the mandible part, right? So you're gonna have these two files saved on your computer. After that, you go to the e-learning, and then you can upload that. So go to the assignments, and on the assignments, you're gonna see the emerging technology. You're going to upload your files over here. You just need to drag your files to this part over here. All right. We're gonna be around helping you with this exercise. Also, in the meantime, I'll be showing you some of the 3D printing technology. I will show you the 3D printers and how you transfer this model to the 3D printing computer. All right. Thank you so much and have fun.